It has been a week since the United States has agreed to allow nuclear-armed submarines to dock in South Korea for the first time in over 40 years. This decision comes as part of the Washington Declaration, which aims to deter North Korea from potential attacks and strengthen joint deterrence against its nuclear weapons program. Today, we'll take a closer look at this historic decision and what it could mean for the region. Is the USA playing with fire? How could North Korea and China react? Well, join us and find out. Firstly, it's important to note that operational control of the nuclear weapons will remain with the US. No nuclear weapons will be deployed on South Korean shores. This means that South Korea will not have access to or control over the nuclear weapons, and they will not be stationed on its territory. However, the agreement includes deeper coordination on nuclear response strategy, which underscores the close partnership between the US and South Korea in the face of security threats in the region. The decision to allow US nuclear-armed submarines to dock in South Korea is significant because it marks a major step forward in the military cooperation between the two nations. It also reflects the seriousness of the threat posed by North Korea's nuclear weapons program. But the move is also likely to have significant geopolitical implications. For instance, it could strain relations between North and South Korea, which have already been tense in recent years. North Korea has previously called for an end to US military presence in the region and sees such moves as a threat to its sovereignty. Furthermore, the move could also impact the ongoing efforts towards denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. While the US and South Korea have made it clear that the agreement is aimed at deterring North Korea from potential attacks, it's unclear how North Korea will respond to this development. How North Korea may react to this decision. Perceived threat to its sovereignty and security. North Korea sees its nuclear weapons program as a key deterrent against perceived threats from the US and its allies, including South Korea. The presence of US nuclear-armed submarines in the region could be viewed as a direct threat to North Korea's sovereignty and national security, and may lead to an increase in tensions. Strategic interests. North Korea's strategic interests in the region may also influence its reaction to the decision. For instance, North Korea may view the presence of US nuclear-armed submarines as a means of strengthening the US-South Korea alliance, which could undermine North Korea's own strategic interests in the region. Domestic political considerations. North Korea's leadership may also consider the domestic political implications of the decision. North Korea's leadership may seek to use the presence of US nuclear-armed submarines to rally domestic support and enhance its own legitimacy. Diplomatic efforts. North Korea's willingness to engage in diplomatic efforts to de-escalate tensions in the region could also influence its reaction to the decision. If North Korea is willing to engage in dialogue with the US and South Korea, it may be possible to find a peaceful resolution to the situation. But to be fair, it is highly unlikely to happen. By looking at the past events, North Korea has never really been on this side of peaceful solutions, but one factor could make an exception. What if China is involved in the situation on North Korea's side? Since the decision by the US has not only raised concerns in North Korea but also in China. Speaking of it, what will China think about it? China is a close ally of North Korea, and any actions that are perceived as a threat to North Korea's sovereignty or security could be viewed unfavorably by China. Additionally, China has its own concerns about the presence of US military forces in the region, particularly given the ongoing tensions between China and the US over various issues such as the trade war, the USD-yuan currency shift, and the Chinese military actions around Taiwan and recently the Philippines. China may view this development as a significant escalation of military activity in the region, and it may be concerned about the potential for increased tensions. Furthermore, the move could also be seen as a direct challenge to China's own military presence in the region. Given the potential implications of this decision, China may respond by increasing its military presence or taking other measures to counter what it sees as a threat to its interests. For instance, China may seek to strengthen its military ties with North Korea or increase its own military deployments in the region. We do not think Joe Biden and the US military forgot that, the Chinese Navy is estimated to have over 300 warships, including aircraft carriers, destroyers, frigates, and submarines, in addition of the development of advanced naval technologies, such as anti-ship missiles, hypersonic weapons, and unmanned underwater vehicles. One of the key strengths of the Chinese Navy is its ability to project power beyond its territorial waters. China has been building military bases in the South China Sea and Indian Ocean, which enable it to extend its reach and protect its maritime interests. That marks an end of today's video. What do you think? Might China be concerned about the US and South Korea's decision, and what measures could China take to counter what it sees as a threat to its interests? Let us know in the comments section below, subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in the next video.